passed this law that still Africans have the right to vote because the 15th Amendment to the Constitution.
But I just told you, if you don't have an enabling statute, you can have a right that there's no means or method by which it can be implemented. That's the reason why you have to have the statute.
It's not that passage every several years, and I forget the name of this law now, but it's not that passage still that 1965
permanent. It should be made permanent. You know?
Is that not?
In my judgment.
Yeah, that was okay.
Now, you know, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was interpreted by the Supreme Court during the case of Bush versus Gore that allowed Bush to become president of the United States.
Explain that.
All right. One of the requirements of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 is that southern states primarily, before they can establish a voting plan and procedures as relates to voting, they must first get permission from the federal government to do so. Now, when you had the problem of recounting votes in Florida, the Supreme Court of Florida ordered a recount, and by doing so, established some procedures about which that recount can occur. But they didn't get the permission from the federal government to do so. So the Supreme Court said that the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was violated, and then ordered the count to stop. And by ordering the count to stop, Bush was ahead at the time, so he became president of the United States.
And so,
that's real slick.
That's the 15th Amendment to the Constitution.
That's the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that implements the 15th
Amendment to the Constitution.
But the point I'm showing you, that the Voting Rights Act of 1965, that was primarily the result of trying to make sure that black people can have the right to vote and participate in the decision-making process, was used this time not to make black people free, not to give black folks the right to vote, but just to elect the president of the United States. So that's one of your consequences of a law. It can be different than what you previously intended it for it to be. And it can be used for all purposes.
You know, over the last couple of minutes we have here, Dr. Blackshear, let's see if you might be able to throw out some suggestions.
Real slick way of doing it.
So some suggestions in terms of what we might do in order to make the 13th, 14th,